Good to see you again, buddies. It's Concert Buddy. This video, I'm going to share my experience. I went to a brand new, well, new to me, record show called the Four States Record Show in Missouri. I'll get into more where the name comes from, all that stuff. Found a couple heaters, so I'm really excited to show them off. So cue that lever and let's get into it now. The technical name of the record show I went to is Four State Record Show, but I was given a heads up about this by Miss 80s. Beth, some of you may know her channel here in the vinyl community, does great work, very technologically savvy, right in the 80s, kind of my wheelhouse. So anyway, she kind of gave me a heads up about this show, which is in southwest Missouri in a town called Carthage. Carthage is how I would describe it. First time I'd been there. It's off the famous Route 66. But it's a Civil War town, and what I mean by that is it's probably best known, if known at all, for being a Civil War town. The Battle of Carthage in 1861 is kind of their historical claim to fame, but there's also a Fortune 500 company called Leggett and Platt. They make like car parts, house parts, that kind of stuff. So first time I'd been to this show. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I'm trying to really lean into going to more record shows because the escalating prices of not only new vinyl, but used vinyl on the secondhand market are kind of becoming a buzzkill. And so the last bastion, in my opinion, is these record shows. My locals, going to ones I've been to before, but then also branching out and going to new ones, but also to have new experiences and exposure to potentially records that are generally not in my normal radius, if you will. So Four State Record Show encompasses Missouri, where I'm located, Arkansas to the south, Kansas to the west, and then Oklahoma to the southwest. I had to think like compass, think.
You mark this down in your book, Daddy.
Another thing I've been really trying to hold true to, with varying degrees of success, is focusing more on quality rather than quantity. I'd go to a record show before, and if there was a vendor there selling a lot of cheapies and high quality $5, $3, $2 records, I'd just pick them up like pancakes, right? Which, according to some people in the vinyl community of the trolling variety, I eat a lot of pancakes.
These nuts. Got him!
Thanks for that. Hey. However, I'm really trying to focus on getting better pieces into the collection, things that I do on occasion have to kind of step up the price meter. But in this case, I found some good stuff. Let me show you what I got. First record I'm going to show that I picked up at this record show is Shaggy, Hot Shot. Now this was a follow-up album to his big hit, Mr. Boombastic. Shaggy, if you remember, if you're old enough to remember, I'm dating myself here, buddy, sorry. The 90s was kind of his commercial peak. He was originally born in Kingston, Jamaica, but actually has dual citizenship in Jamaica and the United States, served in the United States Marine Corps, so very interesting cat, but known for that kind of Caribbean draw to his flow.
Shut it!
On this album, which I had never seen before, obviously you can see Still in Shrink, got that hype sticker. The big hits on this album, Love Me was probably the key or the signature song, but also he had that kind of ballad-ish song, Angel was also on this. Comes on that up. You hear the yard guy outside. But anyway, I have never seen this record before in the wild, so it was one of those ones where I saw it at a vendor, kind of made the rounds, and then I didn't pull the trigger at first, but then when it was still there within the first hour plus, then it gave me a little bit more leverage to negotiate. I'm sure if you've been to record shows, you know that sometimes there's those things that you just see and you gotta strike, and there's other things you gotta mull over, you gotta pull out your discogs, kind of do a cost-benefit analysis, if you will, and then if they're still there, you've got a little bit more room to negotiate, kind of get that price down. This vendor was very fair on the price on this one, and I was happy to bring it home to the collection. Next record I'm going to show is one that's been on my list for some time. This is Jay-Z, The Blueprint. This is the first pressing. Comes on, conveniently enough, blue vinyl, 2 LP. What's fun about this one, is that this is actually a promo copy. You can see that there. but probably best known for the Izzo Hova track, H to the Izzo. I'm not even going to try to do it because white guy doing rap, not what you need to see right now.
H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. For shizzle, my nizzle used to dribble down in VA.
But this one had been on my list for some time. I saw it actually at my local record show months ago at a fair price. I didn't pull the trigger then, kind of regretted it because I could have bought it, and then later in the show, like I was just talking about on the previous record, it was gone. So that's kind of the risk you run, right? Is if strike while the iron's hot, or if you want to try to get that price down, it may be gone by the time you circle back through. Anyway, this is a great album. My favorite track is not actually the Izzo Hova song. It's actually Renegade. It's a collaboration between Jay and Eminem. I just like the flow. I love those kind of titans of hip hop.
Never been afraid to say what's on my mind at any given time of day, cause I'm a renegade.
I'm pretty sure, and tell me in the comments below, I don't think that Jay reciprocated on an Eminem album. I could be completely wrong because I'm not intimately fully ingrained in the Eminem discography, so it's highly possible that Jay-Z returned a favor, but pretty sure that he didn't. Anyway, always enjoyed this album. Very popular. They even did the Blueprint 2, which wasn't as, in my opinion, as good. There's a Dr. Dre song on there that they collaborated with, which is okay, but anyway, been looking for this. Happy to pull this one to the collection. So the album I'm most excited to show you, I shouldn't even say album, the record I'm most excited to show you is one I had never seen in the wild. It was kind of for me, a piece of mythology. I'd heard about it, but had never laid physical eyes on it before. And that is this Van Halen promo. This is 1978. It's a 5-track, 12-inch advance on Van Halen 1. Several of the tracks on that album obviously are on Van Halen 1. It comes in red vinyl, but obviously a couple things kind of make this unique. One, it was the first release of any sort to use the original master tapes from that first album with Ted Templeman behind the controls. It has, the original Van Halen logo in blue and red. And then since I'm here, it has this, since it came out on Warner Brothers, they kind of leveraged some of their animation chops and put this Merry Melodies type of sticker on the middle. Again, I'd only heard about this album. I'd never seen it in the wild. This vendor actually had a lot of very interesting pieces. He did, for the most part, he actually wrote the prices, wrote physically with a pen, wrote on the prices. Not on this one, fortunately, because it's in black, but I was kind of disappointed to see some of the other really nice pieces he had. He had wrote real small, $80, $60 in the back, kind of a drag. Anyway, worked out a really good deal with him, went below market rate, so I was happy to cop it at a cheaper price. Went through the ultrasonic cleaner twice when I came home, played it, sounds really good. I believe, and if you guys know, tell me in the comments below, I think there is actually a track variation to the mix of one of the songs, maybe more than what actually output on Van Halen 1. Anyway, my lawn neighbors are getting louder and louder, but I was super pumped to add this to the collection. Buddies, that's all she wrote. Like I said, quality over quantity. I didn't feel like making the 4-hour drive to Southwest Missouri was a bust. In fact, if you said, hey, would you go back to this record show? I would, for a couple reasons. One, variety of having that 4-state mix. Two, $5 entry fee is a big winner. They didn't do early bird. They only had everybody at 9, which I thought was a unique approach, and I could appreciate that. And I think it's also good to kind of get out, stretch your wings. As I've talked about before, I really like taking road trips. Cheap plug for my record store road trip series. We actually stayed in the largest metropolitan city to Carthage, which is Springfield, Missouri, which I went to school there for a year. And at Missouri State. It's probably too much information, but within that, my son accompanied me on this trip. We had a nice down Friday, back Saturday situation because this record show's on a Saturday. I love record shows on Saturdays. But in Springfield, there's some record stores we hit up I had never been to before. More to come there. I may talk about that on future episodes of this YouTube channel. But I would recommend, if you're in that Southwest Missouri or any of those states, neighboring states, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, it's not bad. It's a decent show. Anyway, buddies, would love to hear what you think about these records I showed. Did I get some winners? Did I get some losers? Tell me more information on Van Halen if you know it. I only know based on what I could research on Discogs and all that kind of stuff, but still pumped that I got it. Buddies, End of the video. You've made it. Thank you for spending your most precious commodity, your time, on this video on my channel. I always appreciate it. Comments, likes, subscribers, really means the world. But buddies, let's get out of here. Till next time, when you get the chance, just spin it. See you soon.
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
Well, we out of time.